Freshman year, I had this in particular one gym teacher. She was my first period, and solely due to her background growing up in a rival gang members neighborhood from where I lived in, she always expected that before my senior year, I would either be incarcerated or unfortunately be dead. My name is Anthony Fabs. My ethnicity is Hispanic, and I grew up in Back to the Arts in Chicago, Illinois.
While the amount of youth incarcerations have been decreasing, the amount of the incarcerated youth being a person of color has increased. And for that, evidence shows that the school-to-prison pipeline is a contributing factor. What is the school-to-prison pipeline? Schools and universities are creating paths for their students, more likely students of color, to the criminal justice system. One prime example is with school resource officers. School resource officers were given the title with the intention of preventing incidents, such as mass school shootings, but now they're essentially being used as a way to discipline students.
We had one president on campus every day.
What types of jobs or tasks would you see him do during the day?
Walk around trying to patrol the school as if it was a neighborhood, and going up to students that he suspected were doing things that they shouldn't have.
Not only are schools with these officers 5 times more likely to have arrests for disorderly conduct, but schools are also more likely to have an SRO on campus if half of their student population is black. White adolescents are more likely to get suspended for things like drinking or smoking, while kids of color are more likely to get suspended for things like talking back. Statistics show that for every white student, 3 black students are suspended. Kids that are suspended or expelled are more vulnerable to dropping out or even getting arrested. Currently, the federal government is trying to enforce schools to make suspension and expulsion a last resort. Were you ever suspended or expelled?
I was suspended in my freshman year by the same teacher that profiled me, supposedly for bullying and for gang involvement. Yeah, I was not involved in any of this. We had to go through an investigation process with the Board of Education in Chicago.
Have you ever been arrested?
Yes, I've been arrested a total of now 3 times. Twice when I was a minor and 1 as an adult. First time being arrested, I was in juvenile detention center for possession of a firearm. It wasn't like the way that you would expect juvenile detention center to be. It was very chaotic and uncivilized. It was not beneficial in any way or form, simply due to the way how I previously described it being a chaotic environment, and it's supposed to be a place where children or minors are supposed to be corrected to be ready for the outside world and society as a whole. It didn't prepare anyone in there, as a lot of people in there act up, and a lot of people will get charged for aggressive crimes and simply be out within 1 or 2 days posting bond. So it's kind of like a never-ending cycle.
What type of programs do you think that these juvenile detention centers need to actually help these adolescents in there?
More social programs, such as getting them more engaged with their community and stopping the quote-unquote segregation that we have in this city of ours, due to people simply not liking each other by being from a certain area that can even be as little as 2 blocks away from where someone resides.
Early intervention plays a huge role in supporting these vulnerable children from disadvantaged backgrounds. Children need support not only from their families, but their schools and communities too. As for the children being locked up in these juvenile detention centers, we owe it to them to not give up on them. Being locked up, the risk of depression and suicide and self-harm increases. Rehabilitation and mental health programs need to be implemented, alongside the goal to guide them back into society. As for our school-to-prison pipeline, more schools and universities are leaning towards restorative justice, which is essentially just talking things out with a counselor. The schools that have tried this have seen higher graduation rates. If more schools choose to implement this, they leave their students with the satisfaction that if they did end up in the criminal justice system, it won't be because they led them there.